Hi guys, my name is Vlad Ivanov and today we are going to talk about insurance sales to be precise, how a website can help you and what can you do with Facebook. So there are two parts of this presentation and it's going to be a very interesting and I believe very helpful. So if you're going to pay attention and you're going to learn a lot. So breaking assumptions, I call it breaking assumptions because as you know, lots of insurance agents say that insurance is sold. And I say, well, sorry, but this is rubbish. Why? Because if you cannot create interest from your clients, then yes, insurance is sold and you have to hustle and you have to find out how you can sell them something. But if you manage to create interest and explain how the person is going to get the benefit and why the person needs this particular policy, then you are going to win. And you're going to win the competition between you, your competitors, and you can even win it to compare your business and with major insurance companies. Once again, breaking assumptions. 4 people, mom, dad, obviously as you can see, she's pregnant, and a couple of kids. Family has a house. Obviously, he's a tradie, and as you can see, there is a youth, and that's what we know for now, right? But what if we drill a bit deeper? What can we say about these people? You see, so far, that's where the typical insurance marketing stops. And I want us to take it a bit further. Meet John and John. Second marriage, she is a property manager, he's a builder. So as you can see, straight away we have differences. So let's say what she is interested in doesn't necessarily mean that he is really keen to think about all of that stuff. Now, let's take it even further. What if Joy's pregnant. She has a daughter from previous relationship and she loves photography as a hobby. She's a movie lover. John is a smoker. He's got diabetes. He's got car racing as a hobby. And he's a home decor enthusiast. So if you are in life insurance business, it looks like John isn't really likable by insurance companies, as you would agree. Same we could easily say about her, because she's pregnant. Most likely there is going to be some sort of exclusion or at least a note in a policy. Now, what if you're going to bring another couple into the picture? Meet Bill and Jill. They are property investors, home decor enthusiasts, news junkies, and music lovers. Ask yourself a question. If you're advertising in a newspaper or in a magazine or even on TV, would you be able to know all of that information which I've just told you about those two couples? I think no way. But using Facebook and Google allows you to know everything about all those people. And by, let's say, creating an article about car racing, you can attract John. Or by creating an article about property investments, you can attract Jill and Bill. And think about if they want to have house insurance and they're property investors, you're talking to one couple, they have, let's say, 5 houses, and you're going to have a larger transaction from one interaction. Now I'm going to show you what I managed to achieve by addressing interests. So this is what I managed to get back in 2015. I had 14% inquiries about landlord insurance. I had 19% inquiries for house insurance. I also had 49% of inquiries for public liability insurance. And 19% were all the different types of insurance. So what was the other in 2015? It was business insurance 2.2, contents insurance 1.6, life insurance 1.4, life insurance block, trauma insurance, medical insurance, boat insurance, mortgage insurance, income insurance, side cover, and professional indemnity. As you can see, with professional indemnity and income insurance leading the way, and with side cover slightly less, or let's say slightly behind. And keep in mind, all of these are just simply new inquiries, so from people whom I never met before. Now, what I actually managed to write back in 2015. Public liability insurance policies, 64% of my new business. Professional indemnity was only 1%. And house insurance was 14%. Landlord was 10, site cover was 7, business insurance was 1. And professional indemnity and public liability combined, it was 1%. As you can see, the point I'm trying to make here is simple. Everyone has a different set of products. And in my case, for me, it was a lot easier to sell public liability insurance, subsequently selling life insurance. But that life insurance policy isn't going to be in this presentation, because what I want you to see here is initial contact by people whom I never met before, and these people bought those policies. Now let's look at inquiries with money. As you can see, red line shows amount of money I was spending on advertising, where the blue line shows number of leads. And as you can see, in February, I had 113 leads, right? So let's say that particular graph shows from May to February. And the point here is just to show that number of inquiries, basically people asking to sell them a policy. So inquiries from first quarter of 2016, 57% public liability, 7% house insurance, 10% landlord insurance. If you noticed, it was an increase of 3%, right? Income insurance 4, site cover 7, public liability and professional indemnity 2, professional indemnity 3, mortgage insurance 2, trauma contents 1, medical 1, life insurance 1, business insurance 1, car insurance 1. What you have to understand here is all about what you push. And as you can see, I was pushing public liability. Why? Because I wanted to sell policies to all those small business owners. Because let's face it, once you provided the person with good service, the person becomes your client. And this is what I was after. So once again, all these people didn't buy anything from me before. So it was just a fresh relationship straight from my advertising, basically buying policies. Now, a new business written in the first quarter of 2016, 68% was public liability, 4% was medical insurance, professional and public indemnity, 3%, site cover, 14%, landlord insurance, 11%. So as you can see, the number of inquiries, obviously in percentage-wise, and obviously number of actual business being written, that's what it is. But I mean, keep in mind, guys, we were so busy. So what I'm doing here, I'm comparing 2015 and 2016 for you specifically to understand that with right advertising, insurance is not sold. Insurance is actually bought. So as you can see, public liability, we managed to increase roughly, get to take, let's say, what, 10% at least. We managed to increase by 10% to compare 2015 to 2016. And obviously with new business being written, the difference is about 5%, right? Public liability being the leader. And once again, I mean, I was specializing in business insurance. Keep in mind, I was selling everything else. Yet this presentation about actual new business being written only due to advertising. So once again, how did I manage to sell it all? As you can see, what I've done here for you, all those guys are together. Next steps. Once you landed a client, you know that you can do a lot of cross sales and upsells. Business owners, life insurance products, landlords, level life insurance, medical insurance, house contents insurance, you name it, they buy it all. The only difference is, are you ready to sell? What I'm going to do next, I'm going to show you something else. So when we were talking about those pretty pictures, that's good. But now let's look at actual numbers and let's look at the expense. So as you can see here, we have all those kind of numbers and so on. And what is important for me here is to show you that, let's say, yes, in January, I didn't have any leads, as you can see here, right? In January, I didn't have any leads. Why? Because I was taking some time off and obviously I wasn't working, and my office was working only 1 week in January. So I just basically told all my guys to go home. In February, we had 10 leads. March, we had 13, April 16, May 25, June 36, July 55, August 63, September 77, October 57, November 94, and December, obviously, people really think about Christmas most of the time. It's only 48, but mind you, I also was winding off just to make sure that I had a good, proper holiday with my family. Now, let's look how much money it actually cost me. So 94 leads in November was $1,500, where 48 leads in December was twice less. And so let's say this is what I was spending with Google. I was spending, and this is the amount of money I was spending with Facebook. And you could say, well, how could you possibly know which one brought the business in? So let's say here, obviously, in November, I spent $2,200, right? $2,200. And I got for it 94 leads, out of which 41 was public liability, 20 was house, 15 was landlords. All right. Now, how about I'm going to show something else. So this is, as you can see, this graph shows a number of people visiting my website. And what is interesting, the green line represents organic visitors who simply search engines and they come to my website, where blue line shows number of inquiries. And what's interesting here, and this is exactly what I want you to understand, that with influencing your social media activities, here I have, let's say, 453 people coming from Facebook page to my website. And here we have kind of really a typical, so here we have a hole where basically I didn't really influence anything. But if you pay attention, so let's say here I had, let's say 79 people, right? So let's say the average was 79 people. If you look at the yellow line, where the average becomes 453 and average for, and blue line being inquiries, also grew up. So let's say Google works slightly later. So let's say it's just basically catching up, if you want me to explain that way. So it's catching up, and by catching up I mean here I had 147. So here we have 453, we stopped advertising, so the number goes down to 108, then it goes to 147, 141, and we have, give or take, about 60, right? 60 inquiries that particular day. So this is something for you to understand from Facebook marketing point of view. And what I've done, somewhere here, I thought, well, that's something we have to investigate. And we've done exactly the same. At the beginning of the year, we kind of noticed the difference. So when we were advertising on Facebook and visitors were coming to our website, we thought, okay, well, we have to run something a lot bigger. So we ran a campaign with 453 people visiting our website. And as you can see, the hiccup here was that we actually had a lot more inquiries. And we ran the second, right, the peak, 423 people. And we've done exactly the same. And this is a number of inquiries per week. And this is really interesting because from insurance point of view, that obviously people do think more about insurance on Monday. As you can see, on Monday we had 477 inquiries. When you, obviously taking all Mondays all together, right, in a year. And Tuesdays, 384. With Saturday being the lowest, 191. So when we talk about insurance, obviously we can clearly see that on Saturday there is no need to advertise because people don't think about insurance. And so this was a number of visits. So if you do want to discuss it and you want to look at how we can help you to grow your business. So if you do want some help, please don't be shy, get in touch and let's talk about business. Let us show you how we can help you to create your marketing campaigns and drive people to your website and buy insurance policies from your website only using channels like websites, Facebook, YouTube. Till the best time. Talk to you soon.